Hey, in this video, I want to show you what might be at the root cause of your imposter syndrome, but also most of your insecurities and self-doubt. So this is also probably the reason why you're so hard on yourself, that you often feel so overwhelmed. It's what makes you procrastinate, afraid to make decisions, and also what's holding you back from living a life true to yourself. Understanding this really changed my life, and I hope it will for you too. So let's get started. So one of the mothers of all fears is the fear of not being enough. But where does this fear come from? Well, if you think about it from an evolutionary perspective, back in the hunter-gatherer days, if you weren't enough, you wouldn't survive. You would get left behind by the tribe, or even worse, eaten by a saber-toothed tiger. And so the fear of not being enough is actually designed to keep you safe. The only thing is that there is no real danger anymore. There is no tribe. There is no saber-toothed tiger waiting for you to be abandoned. And the only saber-toothed tiger you're likely to meet on your way home is the one that belongs to the crazy cat lady who lives upstairs from you. But most of us already know this. Then why are we still so afraid of not being enough? Well, let's look at where this might come from. So, first off, when we're born, we're all enough. When you're tiny, you're pooping, you're crying, you're living your best life. But then one day, when you're 3 years old, you're running naked around the garden, having the time of your life, and someone says to you, "Hey, go put some clothes on." And so as a baby, you look at yourself, well, maybe I'm not enough as I am. And then a couple of years later, you're 5 years old, and the teacher asks you something in class. And so you know the answer, so you shout, "Me, me, 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 me." And you give your answer, and it's wrong. And so the whole class laughs at you. And so in this moment, as a 5-year-old with limited wisdom and limited understanding of the world, you interpret this as a threat to your survival. So what you do is that you design a special pair of glasses. And these glasses will help you better identify these dangerous moments. This also becomes the lens through which you see the world. Then, a couple of years later, you're 7 years old and you get an A+. And so you go home and you're so excited to tell your dad, and you tell him, and then he says, "Why didn't you get an A?" And so in the mind of a 7-year-old, you interpret this as more proof that you're not enough. And so what happens to your glasses is that the lens gets a little bit darker. Then in high school, you have your first heartbreak, and the lens gets a little bit darker. Then you don't get into your first choice of university, and the lens gets a little bit darker. But the thing is that the darker the lens gets, the more you start seeing proof everywhere that you're not good enough. And so this confirmation bias creates this vicious cycle which just keeps you stuck in this constant fear. And so now you're in your 30s, you're doing amazing at your job, you maybe just got promoted, but then someone gives you some constructive feedback and it nearly breaks you because you think it's a genuine threat to your survival. But the only reason that it feels like a threat to your survival is because you're looking at it through these glasses. What I like to call them the "I'm not enough" glasses. But the thing is that these glasses were designed by a 5-year-old. So maybe it's time that you change your glasses. And so this is where I come in. So I can provide you with the tools that you need to change the lens through which you see the world. This means you could let go of the stress, anxiety, and overwhelm that comes from always doubting yourself. You would be able to take more action, speak up more in meetings, be more present with your friends and family. You'd be able to finally live a life true to yourself. And so if this is something you would like to explore with me, you can start by taking the free self-confidence test that's below this video. It only takes about 2 minutes, and as a bonus, you'll also get a free 45-minute strategy call with me. So if you have any questions, feel free to send me a DM on LinkedIn. But other than that, much love. Take care.